What if freedom didn't mean returning home, but starting a new life in a colony designed by an empire? In the late 18th century, thousands of freed black men and women crossed the Atlantic, again not as slaves, but as settlers. Their destination, Sierra Leone. Their mission, build a new society. But this was more than a humanitarian project. It became one of Britain's boldest colonial social experiments. By the late 1700s, Britain faced a growing question. What should be done with freed slaves in London and across the empire? Many lived in poverty, facing discrimination and limited opportunities. A group of British abolitionists proposed a solution: create a colony in West Africa where freed black people could settle, govern themselves, and spread Christianity and trade. The chosen location was the Sierra Leone Peninsula, a strategic Atlantic harbor already known to European traders. In 1787, the first settlers arrived. Disease, climate, and supply shortages made survival difficult, but the idea did not die. In the 1790s, a new wave arrived. Black loyalists from Nova Scotia who had supported Britain during the American Revolution. Soon after, Jamaican Maroons were also relocated. These groups brought skills, military organization, and strong communal identities. Together, they helped build what would become Freetown. Homes, churches, schools, and trading centers emerged. The settlement became a hub for missionaries, merchants, and freed Africans rescued from illegal slave ships by the British Navy. Over time, these diverse groups blended into a new identity, the Krio. Their language, Krio, mixed the English with African linguistic roots. Their culture reflected both diaspora and African heritage. British authorities believed Sierra Leone could serve as a model colony. They invested heavily in Western-style schools, churches and missionary networks, administrative structures, trade infrastructure. Education became central. Farabe College, founded later, would become one of West Africa's earliest universities. An educated African elite began to emerge: clergy, teachers, clerks, and traders. Many worked closely with colonial officials. To Britain, this proved the experiment successful. A Christian, English-speaking, commercially active African colony. But beneath the surface, the system created new hierarchies. Indigenous groups in surrounding regions had their own systems of governance, trade, and culture long before the colony. As Freetown expanded, tensions developed. Returnee settlers often had better access to education, colonial administration roles, trade opportunities. This sometimes placed them in intermediary positions between colonial authorities and local populations. The result was a layered society shaped by colonial priorities, while Sierra Leone became a center of literacy and Christianity in West Africa. It also reflected the complexities of imposed colonial structures. Despite challenges, Sierra Leone played a major role in African intellectual and cultural history. Freetown became known as the Athens of West Africa. Its scholars, clergy, and traders influenced education, journalism, and politics across the region. The Krio diaspora spread ideas and commerce along the West African coast. Today, Sierra Leone's identity still reflects this unique founding story. A nation shaped by return, colonial planning, and cultural blending. Sierra Leone was not simply a colony of freed slaves. It was a crossroads of empire, diaspora, and African resilience. Understanding its story reveals how history can shape identity for generations. Subscribe to Azirombid for more African untold histories.